magnificent job at the gathering, but she's chilling. Sister Myra's chilling. She's doing great. Let's see. Okay, last question before we get out of here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we ain't talking about Donald Trump tonight. I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about Donald Trump. I hear about him enough. I don't want to hear about him tonight. Not on this show. Not on the show called New Species. I don't want to hear about him on this show. But listen, somebody's asking, who's behind the ice wall? When are they coming to help? If they are even there, if they even are. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So the ice wall is not what people think. It's just the frozen polar cap, right? But under that, if you go to TikTok and type in Antarctic pride, it'll pull up the people that lived under the ice that the scientists thawed out, and they gonna tell you they took them from Africa. They ain't taken from Africa. They was down there frozen in the ice. And psychically, they told them how to throw them out, which gave them the science of defrosting people from cryostasis.
I was going to add the etymology of the word Atlantis goes back to the Greek god Atlas. And when you study who the Greek god Atlas was, he was the Titan that was bound in chains and forced to hold up the earth from the bottom of the earth. And so, that's his name was literally Atlantis, which was translated to Atlas. So if Atlantis is associated with the location of Antarctica, then that I would assume that that so-called ice wall is actually the frozen continent of ancient Atlantis.
It's a frozen continent because ancient Atlantis was a global empire.
But yeah, I believe the Atlantis or Antarctica was the capital.
They got a whole lot of pyramids down there. They got some ancient laboratories. They found a lot of stuff when they went down there. Adolf Hitler got the map from, if you go back and watch where the Thule Society sent them, they sent them to the Himalayas. And they told him what he was looking for. And he was looking for a map that tells them where everything was and what's currently called Antarctica. And from that map, they launched an expedition to Antarctica, and that was the first contact right contemporary with Admiral Richard E. Byrd. That's why America sent him down there, because they tracked the German warships going to Antarctica, so they sent Richard Byrd to investigate what they was doing down there.
Right.
Also, beyond the ice wall, you got fifth dimensional resources called anthracite coal, and it has like 300,000 times of terawatts worth of power. Basically, it can power like 300,000 homes for like a whole year. They have like minerals and resources beyond the ice wall in that landmass.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, I talked to Rod and B-Dale on the phone, and I told y'all I was working on the I'm going to do some research on the Black Sun documentary, and I want to get y'all on it, and I want to really go into it. My spirit is telling me, I was telling y'all, my spirit is really guiding me to do something based on it or whatever. Why was, just so the people could know, why was Hitler so fascinated with the idea of the Black Sun? Why was he researching it so much? What did he know about it that probably a lot of other people didn't know at that time, or even know right now?
Because that's the most powerful source of energy in the known universe. It goes from dark energy, then to ether energy. Then ether energy produces radiation, and from that radiation we get fire and we get electric forces, and from those electric forces we get magnetism.
But it starts with the Black Sun, you saying?
Oh yeah, it all starts with the dark energy.
The dark energy. Okay.
In the secret society, the Black Sun is in reference to the son of the Black Madonna. The biblical code. This takes you back to your Boys of Brazil Obama connection. You don't deep into, but everybody said that Hitler was cloning himself. He wasn't cloning himself. He was cloning Akhenaten.
Who hit? Hold on, see, they go right again. Hold on. Did he go with that shit again?
Yeah.
You couldn't let one show go by without saying some wild shit. Hold on. Rod, you said Rod be saying some wild shit. Rod, and I told y'all it was coming tonight. Rod, you said Hitler was cloning Akhenaten?
Yeah, because they believed that Tutankhamun was going to come back as the heir, and they wanted to usurp his jurisdictional authority by cloning and controlling the clone of his father.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem they ran into was Akhenaten's reign and his time at the top was over.
Right.
And he can't reclaim the throne and displace his son.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
So in the holy drama, it would be the equivalent of Horus's rising to the throne. Somebody clone Osiris and say, stop him from rising to the throne.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The problem that creates is both Horus and Set both gonna whoop his ass instead of just him dealing with Set.
Right. Damn.
And another thing, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was a part of the cloning process. That's why a lot of the soldiers, a part of that Nazi regime, they used to put a lot of the pig hearts because the pig heart was connected to the fourth seed of the Canaanite. Basically, exchange a pig heart and put it inside of a genetically modified body, basically. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, this thing get deep, y'all. This thing gets so deep. Oh man, listen. Before we get out of here, man, I want all y'all to leave y'all contact information. I know the people gonna want to reach out to each one of y'all. Let the people know how they can reach out to y'all, and if y'all got anything that y'all want to promote, a product, service, anything like that, y'all.
You can contact me at bdell10141014 on YouTube, and that's also my title on Instagram as well.
You can contact me on Instagram, RFG_chosen1, the number one. That's RFG_chosen1, the number one. Also, patreon.com/RFG_chosen1, the number one.
Indeed.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at the SikApe. I take messages on Instagram and Facebook under Rod Hayes.
All right. Once again, listen, Rod, RFG, B-Dell, I want to thank y'all. We got about 4,000 people in the chat. It was popping the entire 2 hours. I mean, high energy, high intensity, electricity flowing. Like B-Dell said, it was like Madison Square Garden, and Jordan was playing. You know, the Chicago Bulls was in Madison Square Garden playing the Knicks, John Starks and all of them. So it was amazing, man. So I want to thank y'all. I had a great time tonight. And you know, this shit is real, y'all. This shit is real, family. We are literally transforming into something new, something amazing. And I just hope and wish that y'all take the messages that these brothers said tonight serious, because some serious things are happening. And I do mean serious, spelled S-I.
Hey, Rod, we like that. You want to touch on that a little bit, or you want to go to the?
Oh yeah. I was just waiting down there. I was letting her cook. Remember, I told you. I said the New Testament was written after the Old Testament. I mean, the Old Testament was written after the New Testament. Right. The New Testament was written first, right? And the Old Testament was written after the New Testament, right? Now, remember, the book they was reading was not written in Hebrew. It was written in Akkadian, which is the Babylonian language, right? So the sister telling the truth that none of that Abraham stuff existed in Abraham's time. Like, it wasn't no Abraham and Jacob and Isaac. All that's some made up crap. So the Bible, the way that it's written, well, first of all, you don't know who the writers are. That's where the problem come in. But if you go back to that era, you know, based on the history they gave us, it was only about 100 literate readers and writers. They was all scribes or priests. Right? Most people didn't read and write according to the history they gave us. So who doing all this writing? Who is they beholden to? Right? When I tell people we was not Jews, Christians, or Muslims or Muslims, none of that before 1492. Now you understand what I'm talking about. Because they wasn't even who they claiming they be in the book that they claiming is the word of God. And here's the thing. If it's the word of God, it's supposed to have some mystic powers that when you open it up, you can sense the power emitting. If it's the word of God. Because if you want us and you go to one of them pyramid complex, you're going to have a surreal experience. Right? But my question always be, before you ever open that book, prove to me it's the word of God without using the book. Then the reverend say, well, why would you tell me I can't use the book to prove it's the word of God? Because in that book, it says, he who testifies of himself testify of a lie. So you can't use the book to verify the validity of it as the word of God. Otherwise, you using the testimony of the lie based on what's in the book. So we got caught. Yeah, so we got caught up in all of this religious dogma. Remember, Noble Drew Ali got a chapter in the Circle 7 called Religious Controversy. Right? Why you put that in there? What do it mean? You understand what I'm saying? So if we was none of that stuff before 1492, what make you would be think that we was any of that stuff in 2024?
Go ahead.
Look, if somebody tell you God chose a particular people over all other people of the earth, that God ain't from earth. Because there's no way that an earth God with the whole of the earth at his discretion gonna create a people, any people from anywhere, and don't have a place for them to be before he created them.
All right, go ahead.
So we're talking about a God mind. We're talking about somebody that's always prepared to create something new, right? And to have a contingency available for the circumstances of the creation. So he got these people wandering in the so-called wilderness of the earth for 4,000 years looking for a place to call home. When he created them, wherever he created them at, right? This is going to tie right into the mitochondria in the earth matches to the women that matches to the birthright. If he created a group of people from the clay of the earth, that what it say? Did that what they told us? That's the lie they told us, ain't it? He created these people from the clay of the earth. Test your DNA to the clay. If you don't match, you don't fit. Right? Now, they don't tell us that you can match the DNA to your home land, literally. Because the people ascribed to the homeland is part of the physical earth that they emerge from. Right? So who is these people calling Jews that they God promised to rob somebody of their homeland and give it to them? That didn't think they would need a place to live before they was created. And that's just some shenanigans to me. But the reason why the DNA traced back to your homeland is because your mother's line, mitochondrial, heritable blood right, is tied to the land you from through a frequency of mitochondria that matches this microorganism equivalent to mitochondrial in the soil. They'll have 23andMe giving you a DNA test for an iguana telling you he half Irish, half African, half Arab, and half Chinese. That's too many halves to begin with.
It's a fact what you're saying. It's a fact what you're saying, because I'm gonna tell you, go into a little bit more depth. it was some scientists that did research on when the area where your mother live at, and when she having you in your womb, she breathing in the dust particles from that area, right? So those dust particles help form the physical vessel of the child. From those particles that's in the air, from the light particles and the dust particles that's floating in the air in the area that you're born in.
You know, Baba Malachi York talked about that in one of his lectures.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's where I got it from. I heard Baba say it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about how the sinus cavity is used to filter and sift through the soils of the in the air in order to build the building blocks of the child. The mother's body is the construction site while she's pregnant. That's why women have those big noses when they get pregnant.
It nose be wide open. Hey, I was looking at the mitochondrial cell. It looked like a baby carriage, or like a baby, like a baby carriage with like a S or a snake inside, like a serpent beam. And that goes to this to my first question. Now they say that we have a reptilian side of a brain, and they show the man with the tadpole. They show that's the reptilian part, right? But they don't show the reptilian part of the woman. And why do the woman's fluid smell like fish and all that? Like it's connected with this fish.
Well, if she smell like fish, she need to go to the gynecologist.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like it smell like seawater. Like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like it's a fish man, right? Not like that part, So what is the connection between the mitochondric and the reptilians? Is it like, and the mitochondric DNA going back to the nomos beings?
Look,
you got anything on that?
No, the mitochondrial is the frequency of love energy. It's literally the frequency of love.
Go ahead. That's deep. Go ahead.
Okay, mitochondrial got more purposes than scientists want to tell you, because it's through the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, that the genome determines how to put together the anatomy of the developing fetus.
Facts. That's facts. I studied it today. I read it on that today. Don't it also determine? So don't your cells in your body make the copies from the mitochondria?
No, the mitochondrial, it gives the cell the permission to exist.
Go ahead.
It's like giving your heart permission to beat. You get that through mitochondria. All these bravado male chauvinists that want to be mad at women for being heirs to earth, they some idiots. Because if the woman, when your mama leave, if you ain't found a wife, you got a short order of time to find you a sponsor for your mitochondria, or it'll turn off on its own. They just call it, in the old days, they call it shrivel up and die. That's what they call it. Whenever you do something antagonistic to the matriarchy, then your mitochondria will get turned off. It's going to look like you got a severe case of AIDS or drug addiction, but you won't have none of that. You just don't have a functioning, operating mitochondrial frequency. It's been turned off. So you shrivel up and die. There's no power going to the DNA.
So would it come down to the mitochondria passing down to the male child? If the male child have a daughter, really, so it's gonna pass from the mother, no matter what, it passes from the mother.
Yeah, she gonna get it from her mama, not from her daddy.
Yeah, that's right. So
now,
go ahead.
They got something called mitochondrial syncing. We call it women hiving. When the mother got a son that's a real good dude, she really love him, she will co-host his whoever he dealing with to give him a daughter. right? A man can't have children unless his mama and whoever he make babies with subconsciously agree in the network.
Hey, I heard something like that before, Roy. I heard some old people say something like that.
It's so hard for a male child to be born that most of us don't realize the gift of heaven to earth that we is when we sell ourselves to become other than a man. Look, I got a you on mute, Elder. I got a post I did on Facebook a while back, and it literally have a thing, and it says every awakened woman is a Tesla coil.
Go ahead.
The problem is the women who fought wars and the men they fought with and against